Hey lads, how you guys doing here today? This is Asseylum Justin Villamor in the studio, of course, and of course we're gonna go straight ahead tonight. But obviously, yes, throughout the week, yes, we're gonna go and talk about the Public Order Emergency Commission. The main focus of the topic this week is the POEC Commission Solata, the urgency, the urgence. And of course, this is Asylum Justin Villamor show. You're currently watching it as of right now. Alright, so of course, welcome to Asylum Justin Villamor show. So we're gonna go straight ahead with the opening monologue. Alright, so of course, the just a matter of factor of things here, my friends, is that yes, you could just like go on and like see from here that basically a lot of things went on with the Public Order Emergency Commission, and well, obviously, just sort of go on and just like consider the following factor here that yes, there's bunch of liars, and of course this and the bureaucrats like me, like of course spewing kind of same rhetorics, but uh, obviously is that yes, for surely you could just like go on and like see from here that these people just like went on, and then what? That's my question. So that's the thing here. Obviously, that also well at the end after Trudeau finished his testimony, yes, you could just sort of see from there the closing statements went on, and then Justice Rolo went on and like gave his closing statement, and of course he said that I'm nothing like he just like sort of went on and kind of admitted that he's a type kind of a puppet being controlled by the puppet masters, if you will. But of course, that's just on my basis of opinion, if you will. But well, obviously, that aside from it, the former intern chief Steve Bell, he dodged my question. He didn't bother to go on and sort of think that his eyes won't get caught, but of course, I pretty much caught his lie. But you know what? Here, my friends, is that the one boy, Steve Bell, went on blah 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 like like yapping and yapping and yapping, and then of course, and then once his testimony is over, oh guess what? He dodged my question. He didn't even bother to go on and like answer my question. Ah, I get it now because obviously he's scared because like he doesn't want to be even bothered with hard hitting questions because you can just like go on and like see there that this bunch of cowards obviously they make lies, and then of course when being confronted with truth, guess what? Stomp 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 stomp. I'm just gonna run away. I'm scared of the hard hitting questions. Like I'm scared of this guy because he had the big audacity to ask me hard hitting questions. But of course, I would say here, my friends, is that these people are just bunch of lazy goofballs, like they're bunch of tyrants. But of course, some of the things that I'm gonna share with you here that happened behind the scene when Steve Bell testified. Well, yes, basically is that yep, yes. Steve Bell went step outside, like went outside of the building, and then just by chance he saw Mr. Fox, Carl Vincent Boisile. And of course he said like, how you doing? And then I was like, oh boy. This guy had the audacity to say those words after his goons beated up tons of protesters, peaceful protesters. They beat them up and put them in handcuffs for what? For peacefully protesting. That's totally ridiculous. Don't you think? But of course, I'm gonna go straight ahead with my final conclusion here. My final conclusion is that Steve Bell is more like a goofball, like a little sleazy coward, if you will. But you know what? I'm just not gonna go on and like state very type of obvious of things here. Must come to this a whole type of things here that Steve Bell, which is like ah, just walking, just continue walking. Just pretend that there's no journalist out there that asking him hard hitting question. But yep, that's just for what it is here, to be honest, because like you just like, also see from there that aside from Steve Bell, there's also like Mayor Dale Kans of Windsor and Deputy Windsor Police Deputy Chief Jason Crowley. They also dodge scrutiny, as of course they don't want to be bothered. They don't want to be scrutinized at all. But of course, once again, there's nothing new when it comes to this type of people because obviously that they go and make things up as they go. Simple as that. Because there's a typical problem with this corrupt, lying, liars, douchebags. Simple as that. But of course, that's it for my opening monologue here. Alrighty. So, let me just show you here. Things here. So, first, let me just show you my engagement. Like, my end. When I tried to, quite frankly, ask hard-hitting questions, Steve Bell. Just see if we have my friends. No, boy. So, Tombong, hold on. I'm done here, my friends. Tombong, bong. Let's see here. Then. So, let's go. Oh, here we go. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. So, yeah, just do this. You claim there's a key action, but here, folks, see for yourself. Check out the chip bell. You claim you claim that there's a violence occurred, but Superintendent Morris from OPP said there was lack of violence occurred. What do you say about that, Chief Bell? Do you have anything to say about your claim about violence when in fact that Superintendent Morris from OPP said that there was lack of violence occurred during the Freedom Convoy? What do you say about that, Chief Bell? So, of course, you've seen it with your own eyes. He's a coward. So, of course, there's more to come. Be right back here, my friends. Bye-bye. So, of course, basically here, my friends, is that yes, oh, yes. Now, here's how it went when I tried scrutinizing Mayor Dilkins, Windsor Mayor Dilkins and Windsor Deputy Windsor Police Deputy Chief Jason Crowley. And of course, this is really interesting, my friends, is that just you can just also see from here that also this is just a type of another set example of cowards. Just go out there and then kind of continue on with your day. And of course, my question is that how these people can even sleep at night? That's the question here, like the big question, right? How on earth these people can sleep at night? That is what I am wondering too. Pretty simple as that, if you will hear my friends, is that basically, how on earth these people can even sleep at night knowing that they make lies and of course they supported Trudeau's tyrannical regime, and also the fact that they get went for negotiation. They didn't come to the table and negotiated things here. But instead they just went, I mean, like, instead they just went straight for the smash. Unbelievable. So, there we go. So, sorry about that there. So, here we go. Another clip of me trying to scrutinize these cowards. Again, you claim necessary to prevent the ongoing assaultive nature of the letter. Can you provide me some examples of what you're claiming about? Just one, sir. You claim that the injunction was necessary to prevent the ongoing assaultive nature of the protesters. Can you provide me some examples of what you're claiming about? Mr. Crowley, you claim towards the violence occurred during Ambassador Bridge protest. Can you provide me some examples of what you're claiming about? Can you? Just one. Are you able to provide some, sir? Sir, are you able to? You made that ridiculous claim, so can you provide me some examples? So, but, hey, can they even provide me one single example? That's the question here. And of course, throughout that inquiry, over the past 6 weeks, I find out that that is not the case here. These people just go on their day and just like dash my question, and of course, these people cannot be bothered as pretty much sure they have some important things to attend to, I would say. But of course, it is a typical things of these cowards. They run away from hard-hitting questions. Simple as that. And of course, that is a problem when it comes to this type of people. So, obviously, that these people, boys, I'm pretty much sure they don't want to be at all. But of course, you know what? The absolute normal things here. But, oh, well, the OPP, obviously, like all police agencies said that they still have tools, but of course, they're, they don't want it. So, it's just for what it is here. But of course, I'm gonna show you one thing about the that they don't want you to see and even know. They don't want you finding it out because they want you to believe their lie. That they just smashed it. They successfully smashed the goods blockade. They destroyed those evil white supremacist criminals. But wait a second. Wait a second. That is not the case here for surely. Oh yes. I'm gonna show you that clip in a moment. So just wait a minute. So of course, dun, 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 dun. Let me just like gonna scroll down here, keep scrolling down. But of course, at the meanwhile, yes, yes. I'm just gonna go on here, and of course, I'll be so hold on here. I'm just gonna go on and like play some music here for you while I try to find that video. So yeah, hold on. Sorry, just bear with me.
It's just in another life on the this call on the guard, trample the crowd, the louder it's about. Both stand on ground. It's just not freedom you get is what he makes allowed. Shame, blame, no matter what they say, don't let the bastard. He's gonna try to shut us down, but we'll stand up. If you look, he's red. And our ground day, this just in you. Sad little man sitting deep, he's dead in his soul, but he'll keep you alive. Do what he says, not you, 'cause the truth of him and the lie is for you. Sad little man, treated like a god, as the faithless pray to a fake and a fraud. Worship the man, pledge to his word. We got two, now you get a third. Sad little man, sad Sad little man gonna trap you like a your head while they eat you raw. Don't just comply. Spiritual that the doctor prescribe. Sad little man, you can watch on the news preaching to his choir while they learn the rules. Some people say some people, but they'll all hold his hand as he makes the kill. Sad little man, little man, better run than what goes. Sad little man, you don't want me. Sad little man wants you. Some might live while the rest get sick. So put him to the test and listen for the yell. When he comes out, he's gonna burn in hell. Now we know you can't me. You can't fool me.
This I want.
So, it's not here, my friends, but of course, I try my best to look for that thing. Oh, here we go. Found that. Sorry to keep you guys waiting here. So let me show you this how it ended.
And on for thee, God, keep our land. We stand on guard for. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Thank you, guys.
See, that was a beautiful moment. So of course that's how negotiations work. And of course, like the thing here is that obviously the fact that you see the and if the other factor you've seen in that scenario, you can see and hear that those patriots peacefully ended the Quds blockade, and of course, the other factor here once is that you've seen there that those patriots went with like they sang "Oh Canada" side by side, shoulder to shoulder. That was a beautiful moment. But of course, that's the type of sorry about that. Be right back. Sorry about that there, my friends. But in any event, so yeah, basically that's the type of things that you will not see from the mainstream media. Of course, they will not portray it. You know why? Because once again, it will just like destroy the narrative. Like, of course, I don't want to show it because they're all through those payroll. Obviously, they just spew what they just show what Trudeau wants you to see. Simple as that. But of course, the problem is Bill C11, like, because obviously that Bill C11 will make harder for independent journalists to basically put the truth out there, because obviously that it will give CRTC more power, and of course that's very dangerous. But of course, here's another clip here.
Agree that at first glance. I'd now like to call our
Let's go. This is what you're gonna watch that in. Not gonna be able to fucking deny.
using to be that they are carrying a 5.5 rifle with 30 round magazine. Okay, next to him.
from that here, you just seen it that up. It was clearly that a person was being beaten up. And if curious, they just want to go and like toot, 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 toot. So hold on, let me just show you here. So just take a look at this video here, the whole entirety of it. Appreciate it, but I consider that. But in any events here, my friends, low bikes. Let me just show you here this video. And of course, the basis on it that is it will much the Montreal police.
Hey, you don't have to hit him like that! What you guys are feeding him? What the fuck?
So I think that is SPVM police officers service the police de la ville de Montreal. But of course, you can just see from there that person in that video was beaten and a rifle bad head by the cops, which is totally ridiculous if you just sort of go on and think about it. I mean, it is true that it is absurd and like too disturbing. So, of course, here's an image, one of the images here. Look at this. Let's go look at that. So, you could just see they're having this rifle thing and, of course, a baton. I wonder what they're gonna use it for. To beat people up, obviously. Simple as that. Just like what they will go and use it to beat people up. Ridiculous stuff. So of course this is another document here. So look at that. Assistance. So it's like they're asking for they're asking the Canadian Armed Forces to come in. Wow. But of course, it was a good thing that the military did come in, and of course, because like the military's job is not to deal with protesters, with citizens. No, their job is to deal with national security threats, the terrorists, of course. Of course, here's another clip here of the Public or Emergency Commission. Commission sila ta. So of course, let me just go on here. Hold on. Wait a minute here. There's an apparent problem with here. Oh boy, let's see. So let me just So no avail. Let's see this one. But seemingly no avail, all of them. We got some little problem with the internet. But of course, all of the pretty much of things here, just like go on and I see here for yourself. So hold on here. But of course, in any event, so my friends, is that just basically well, there we go. We'll just show you Justice Roller's closing statement.
But there are threats to the security of Canada, and it requires belief to not even met.
That's the
We
Democracy Fund.
swarmed.
That is Alan Honor
Gates
from the
thrown
Democracy Fund.
These and other things may have happened in the protest, which was of unprecedented proportions. And let me be clear, that is not acceptable. But those acts do not rise to the level of violence or threats which are required by the Act. And further, they do not reflect the attitudes, actions, and values of the vast majority of peaceful protesters. Even the most significant threat we heard of, which was the presence of weapons in coups, does not meet this threshold.
So of course, just forward, so you could see for yourself like the whole clip of Justice Rollo's closing statement. But of course, yes, so Justice Rollo is required to submit his full report to the Parliament, meaning not only to the House of Commons but also to the Senate, both in English and French. But of course, there are a lot of things here just to sort of go on and like consider some other factors that yep, primarily from what you've seen, like none of the concepts, like not a single lawyer said had their closing statement saying like it was justified or blah 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 blah. But of course, the thing here is that we know that is not justified because of course under the CCS Act, the Section 2 of the CCS Act, that there's a definition, like there's a listed threshold for that national threat, like that is the type of typical threshold for the in order for the emergency act to be invoked. But of course, cost Pierre Trudeau invoked the invoked the Emergency Measures Act, and of course now we have Castro Jr. did the same thing. So obviously it was a total corruption, total abuse of power. Simple as that. But of course, there are some problems on playing videos here. Let's see here if we are able to play the videos here or not. Because like if not, I'm just gonna go straight ahead with my no.
you. I probably made mistakes than most, but I want to say final submission very useful for me. Thank you for taking the time to think it through and give me some of the key issues, because again, I won't repeat it all the time, but I've got a little pressure to get at doing some writing, and it's nice to know what's going to become general forms. And if you can get our submissions in early, they won't be turned back. I can assure you. We've extended the time at the request of some, but it is, I'm not going to shy away. It's very challenging to get this written. Hope is that once it is, there will be enough there that even if you don't agree with me, the facts will be there, the evidence, the analysis, and fact finding. But ultimately, these are very difficult issues. They overlap, and people could have different views and will have different views on these things. But I can assure you I'll do the very best I can. Now, this brings the fact hearings of the commission to an end. It was, believe it or not, 43 days ago I first convened these hearings. Since then, we've heard from 75 witnesses, filed numerous over-reports, witness statements, witness interviews, and have introduced 11,000 documents into evidence. You're a bunch of lawyers. I've rarely seen something that happened in February that has reached this point after less than 10 months. It is an amazing feat. Time has flown by. I'm sure you're the same. At least I hope some of you agree that it wasn't boring. We've managed, albeit with long days and some very late, and we've met what you've probably heard me say too many times, our unique timetable. And for that, I'm most grateful. Most importantly, I'm satisfied that I now have the evidence that I need to make the factual findings and to answer the questions I've been mandated to ask. Namely, why did the federal government declare the emergency? How did it use its powers? And were those actions appropriate? These are questions that, as I said at the outset, the public wants answered. And I'm confident that I am now well positioned to provide those answers. I'm also equipped to additional issues and protests and their leadership and funding, including crowdsourcing platforms. The impact, role, and sources, misinformation and disinformation, including social media, the economic and other impacts of the blockade, and the efforts of police and other responders prior to and after the declaration, always to the extent that these issues are relevant to the circumstance, declaration, and the measures taken. It
was important for me to hear the points of view of those who took part in the events or who were affected by those events. I'm very happy to have had the opportunity to hear those points of view, and I'm waiting for the written observations of the parties now that will help me in concluding the work of the Commission.
Je suis heureux que nous ayons pu mener.
I'm happy that we could lead those hearings in an open and transparent way, not only for the parties and the councils and the media, but also for the numerous Canadians who took this opportunity to see the hearings either in person or through our direct broadcasting.
Pleased by the fact that these hearings have by and large taken place without a hitch. Commission counsel and all counsel showed flexibility, innovation, and creativity. This didn't just happen. I asked for everyone to work cooperatively to ensure that the facts and information necessary for the public to understand what happened and why it happened would be elicited. And my expectations were met. Council, you all rose to the occasion, generally, and there's a bit of grumbling, but generally without a hint of grumbling. I understand most of it occurred when I wasn't there. Now, of course, there were issues, but we were able to resolve them in an appropriate manner. Or again, some people don't agree with how I resolved things, but that's not the first that's happened to me. You'll be pleased to know. Time limits were almost always observed, subject, of course, to the regular may I just have one more time. And that was perfectly fine. Indeed, it was appropriate to ensure that the necessary questions be asked and answered. And I was quite flexible with timelines within the bounds of reasonableness. So I want to thank council and the parties for their contribution to the success of these hearings. And by success, I mean getting to have a record that can be used. I note that there's no question that the Commission's timeframe did present challenges. There were a staggering number of documents produced by the parties in response to the Commission's requests, including by the government. The productions have been of critical importance to the Commission's mandate and have resulted in a level of transparency that is, if not unprecedented, I'd say it's virtually unprecedented. But the needs of the Commission to review these documents and the right of the parties to redact on various legal grounds necessarily created time constraints and challenges for all concerned. Where appropriate, the Commission challenged certain redactions, and there have been instances where the government, at the Commission's request, removed redactions. We understand there were challenges, but at the end of the day, I think the record is, as I have said, fulsome to allow for me to make the necessary findings. Par conséquent, la divulgation de documents.
Consequently, the divulgation of documents continued throughout the hearings. The councils worked constantly to make sure that documents would be put at the disposal of the parties as soon as possible. I recognize that parties had to deal with documents on short notice, and as much as possible, I accommodated the parties, allowing them to add documents to their list of documents for review and by granting them additional time for their cross-examination. And I was able to do so while respecting our timetable. And that process helped me appreciating the relevant facts and to improve my understanding of the relevant issues. The question raised by the parties also helped me, and this was very important for me.
Parties has been very much of assistance to me, and I want to thank Council for that. Et maintenant, si vous le permettez.
And now, if you allow me, I would like to express my sincere gratitude to people who worked in the hearing room and to make sure that this would take place. This commission was created and the process was executed by a talented group of colleagues, and that made the task a lot easier for me.
I've sometimes think I'm no more than a puppet with a lot of puppeteers behind who are making the whole system work. And I deserve virtually no credit for all that's happened to date. It's an unbelievable team that I have had supporting me. Notre directrice exécutive,
Our executive director, Hélène Laurando, our office manager, Véronique Perrault, and her staff.
they put together this whole operation, which I think you will agree with me has been very well done in a very short period. L'équipe de gestion d'événements et de conférences,
The event team and the technical team with Yvon Lamoureux that took care of broadcast.
has been amazing to allow us to happen. My co-lead counsel, who I owe so much to, as you know, Shantona Chowdhury, and she says Chaudhry, and I always make it wrong, but I'll learn. It's I'm a slow man to learn, but I blame it on my friend. That's not true. And Jeff Leon. My senior team of lawyers, Aaron Dan, who created really the basis for these hearings, who's not here with us today, but is back in Toronto. Frank Au, Gord Cameron, Natalia Rodriguez, Dan Shepard, and Gabrielle Poliquin, who is happy to read as well, quite well, and will be involved next week. My regional lawyers, Mona Duckett, Chapal, and Maya Turumi, who you have not seen here, but who were important in collecting the information which has made it into the record from the various border blockades out west. And the two you probably know best, Eric Brousseau and John Mather, my God, where have they been good? They have put out more fires than the fire department. And they also had other duties you might not believe. They were doing this part-time, running hearing. But I'm greatly indebted to them. And then the team of lawyers, of which you've seen, I guess most of them, or if not all of them, you've seen. Stephen Armstrong, Misha Boutier, Sajeda Hedarali, Alexandra Hine, Nusra Khan, Etienne Lacombe, Alison McMahon, Jean-Simon Schoenholtz, Dalia Shuhaibar, and Guillaume Sirois-Gingras. And yeah, they're at the beginning of their career by and large, but boy, are they competent and hardworking once again, I must say. Couldn't without them, and I'm also going to lean on them to help me in the next phase a bit, but I'm sure they'll be happy to help. I'd also like to recognize our policy advisors, Mark Fryman, Mark Pritchard, and Mark Sandler, our communications advisors, Michael Tansey and Marie-Claude Gagné, our public input team under Patrick Pilon, Madame Registrar, Stacy Huber, Ms. Lynn Mahoney, and our document clerks from Juristica, who amazed me with their ability. And it's to make documents seemingly appear from nowhere, but also the challenge, you don't know the half of the problems getting all the federal documents from their system to our system to what, I won't go there. Our translators, transcriptionists, and interpreters, they have been incredible, and some of you made their life very difficult. You know who you are. Our research council, who guided and continue to guide the policy aspects of the commission and plan the roundtables for the policy hearings next week. Geneviève Cartier, chair of the council, Jamie Cameron, Michel Galland, Nomi Claire Lazare, Kent Roach, Clifford Shearing, and Jocelyn Stacy. And finally, our security team and the staff of Public Service and Procurement Canada and Library and Archives Canada, they've all worked to make, again, this whole hearing go well, made us feel safe, made us feel welcome and comfortable. I think that that team, those three teams are important to have to this, bringing this together. Now, before closing, I want to address the people of Canada in two respects. I was delighted that approximately 9,500 Canadians took the time to make a submission through our public input process. These submissions were most helpful to me and our council team to understand your observations, experiences, and ideas. They contributed to making this a truly public inquiry. It was important for the Commission to hear from the public and understand the views of Canadians. I now have that understanding to provide an important backdrop for the Commission's mandate. It's fair to say, if you've gone through that document, that this is a very divisive issue at the root of this whole convoy and what has come out of it. And I think this process, I hope, will be of assistance to people to understand and move forward. It is a truly humbling to me to be involved in this. I can assure you it's I would almost say overwhelming to see the interest, the concerted response from people. I wasn't looking for fame and fortune, but I think I'm kind of stuck now to be at least a figure at some neighborhoods. Je remercie aussi le peuple canadien de l'intérêt.
I also thank all Canadians for their interest in the Commission's work, and thank you for the confidence that you put in me to undertake this significant inquiry. It is a privilege and an honor to serve as a commissioner. We have a lot of work to do to prepare and finalize our report. I assure you that we will keep doing all that is possible to bring you the answers to the questions that were raised by the mandate. You deserve nothing less than that.
Are possible, all that is possible, to bring forward the answers to the questions raised by our mandate. And as I said, they deserve nothing less. So thank you and good evening. I now declare the fact hearing portion closed. I may not see a lot of you now that we move to the next phase, given that the submissions will be in writing, but I do feel I've made some friends, maybe some enemies too, but I like to think I've made friends because virtually all of you I did not know. And it has been a very, very pleasant experience. And thank you all for tolerating me. And my I guess, difficult task is always is still in front of me. Thank you very much.
So of course there have it there, my friends. But of course I'm just gonna go straight ahead with my ending monologue already here. So of course I'm just gonna go on with Justice Rolo's closing statement there. So of course, as you may see in there, that he received a standing ovation. And well, of course, the other factor here is that yes, basically he said that sometimes I think that I'm nothing but a puppet with puppeteers behind me. And of course, thanks for clarifying it, Justice Rolo. And of course, like, the thing here is that, of course, it is kind of obvious, I would say that Trudeau has his string on Justice Trudeau, and Trudeau was like this, like, moving the string. But of course, obviously that's the kind of in my point of view, to be honest. That's how sort of a view about Justice Trudeau. But of course, like some aside from that, also is that well, it's been good, to be honest. Like, some even though there's some things that he did was to sort of benefit Trudeau, I would say. But yeah, but of course, for the conclusion, well, obviously that the fact finding and of course the kind of the policy phase is over. Oh well, that means that yep, this thing is over today. Justice Rolamas goes next, gonna go straight ahead to the next phase, which is to start writing his full written report, and of course admit it to the Parliament no later than February. And of course, that's it for my ending monologue here, my friends. So of course, um, here we're run out of time here. So of course tomorrow the show will not be on. Nope, no show tomorrow. Asylum Justin Whitmore show will not be airing tomorrow. Of course, the next one will be on Thursday, December the 7th. Or wait, December 7th, Wednesday. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. Oh boy, sorry to just like mix it all in here, my friends. But yeah, in any events, yeah. So I'll see you guys on Wednesday then, 6 p.m. Eastern time, hopefully. But of course, here, my friends, I'll be signing up now. So of course, I'm gonna be seeing you guys volley back in my Toronto, my studio, Toronto. So yeah, of course, until then, here, my friends, keep fighting for freedom. Bye bye. And of course, before I go, like, keep up the good for you, keep fighting for what's right. Don't drink the Kool-Aid, please don't. And of course, stay sane. And of course, have a great night. Enjoy the rest of your evening here. And of course, once again, I'll see you guys hopefully on Wednesday, December the 7th. But of course, until then, here, my friends, keep fighting for freedom. Bye bye.